Hi folks, Sarah here from Mojo Mingle, and today I have Anton with me. He's one of the coaches working with Mojo Mingle, and in this video we're going to be discussing I guess the ideal time to be sharing your baggage with a potential a potential partner,
Dator, datee,
or someone that you're just starting out dating. Because last week or whenever it was, I put a question on Facebook and I said, what are your current frustrations with dating? And a few people said that usually in the first few maybe days of messaging the other person, or when they go out on their first date, they usually share some information and then they don't necessarily end up getting a second date. So I reached out to Anton and I wanted to know what do you think is, I guess, the best time to be sharing your baggage?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So I think where I stand with this is be two-headed about it. So when I say be two-headed, I mean take on two concepts at once when you're in a conversation getting to know somebody. So the first head is be responsible for how you are in the listening of that person. Okay, so how do they hear you? Do they hear someone who's just vomiting up all of their life story in an inappropriate way and it's turning them off you? But the second head is about being authentic, okay? Because if you're dealing with something, whatever you're dealing with in life, it's really important that they have an opportunity to be involved in that conversation, you know? So some people worry about, like, well, for example, I've had a vasectomy, okay, which is probably a bit too much information for some people.
Do you really want to be sharing that?
Yeah, well, I do. I don't mind. I will tell someone that on a first date. But I'll also be very responsible for that because, you know, and the reason I would tell them that is because if they want to have a child, it's very important that they have this information, because if they go ahead and get attached to me, then they have to know that I'm probably not the one, you know, I'm probably not that one. Having said that, it's a dance. I have to be in the conversation, and that has to come up in a way where I'm not just telling them something off the cuff. You know,
hey, what do you want to order for
yeah,
entree? Oh,
I've had a vasectomy. That's right. So can you see how being two-headed is really important, okay? Especially with something like that. And then, again, as I always say, that the context is decisive. Some things are more sensitive than others, like terminal diseases, etc. These things are very sensitive issues, but also very important that people have an understanding about what they're getting involved in. Other things are less important, you know, political views or religious views, whatever else. These sorts of things, you can let people know.
Religion is very important for some people, though.
Religion is very important, but your religious views aren't necessarily something that the other person has to adopt in order for a relationship to work. I don't know. Maybe not in the beginning. I don't know.
And I guess it also depends on like what the baggage is. So for example, in your situation, what you revealed before, I don't feel that needs to necessarily come out on the first date, because on the first date you're really just getting to know the person. So you could probably maybe not share that straight away. But like for me, for example, I a few months ago decided I might try Bumble again. And the person who I was speaking to was mentioning a lot of, I think we were talking about like favorite foods or something, and then he was like mentioning a lot of animal products, and I was just like, he doesn't know that I'm vegan, but this conversation is definitely not inspiring me to want to date this guy. So I thought maybe I should share with him that I have a plant-based diet. Just knowing that that's my choice to not eat animal products and to be a vegan, I think that label puts a lot of people off too.
It's a very important thing. So vegans is a great example. And the other person is, okay, so the way that I would suggest that we go about this is we ask questions that lead them to the opportunity to share, okay? So I noticed that you love to eat a lot of meat. What are your views on vegans? You know, you can ask them, you know, or have you ever dated a vegan before?
Yeah, rather than me just making an assumption
about I'm a vegan,
his...
And I can, in my context, or in my situation, I can say, look, have you, I know that this is really early on, but I don't want to waste your time, okay? And I'll just put a little side note in here. In my view, there's nothing more attractive than raw, powerful authenticity and truth, right? So if I'm with somebody and I say, look, I know this is probably a little bit inappropriate, but what do you see for your future if you find the right person? Are you thinking about babies, etc.? Okay, and the reason I'm asking you is because I'm not sure that that's what I'm up for, and I just don't want to waste your time. People will find that attractive. Yeah. People will find that refreshing because I'm not holding cards close to my chest. So again, the vegan thing is really important for people to know. For me, it's great if someone's a vegan. It's a chance to eat a lot more clean, fresh food. But there are times in the past where I maybe wasn't as receptive to it, and it's just something which has to be in a dance. Conversation has to be in a dance with the other person.
As I get older, a lot of things that I think is like such a big thing to share with someone is not really a big deal after all. One of the guys who commented on that Facebook post that I mentioned before, like frustrations with dating, he said that the dates generally don't even happen. As soon as he says that he has like a mental health issue, people don't realize, but a lot of people have mental health issues. Like it's so common now for people to have like depression or anxiety or be suffering from any of these things.
Yeah. So what I would say there is he's probably not being responsible for how he's creating that. Okay. So if you meet with someone and you're like Eeyore and you go, I have a mental health condition, and you're really depressed about it, and you're basically lumping your baggage on them, that's never going to work, and it's totally unattractive. If you meet somebody and you're getting to know them and you say something like, look, I've been really battling with stuff, but I'm out there to win, and I'm out there to have a life that really works, and I'm excited about meeting the right person. Yeah. That's much more enticing, you know, and it's the same person. It's just how you're creating it with the other person.
Sometimes like people can identify with their I'm depressed, like that is who I am, but that's not necessarily who I am. Like
you are not your illness.
No. So yeah, I don't know. Do they even need to bring that up on a first date?
I think it's real. Again, there's nothing more enticing to me than raw honesty. But being responsible. That's the other thing I'll say about the mental illness guy, is he's blaming other people for not wanting to go second date with him. When he does that, he can't improve and develop himself. If he says, okay, it must be about how I'm generating this for the other person, then he can experiment with different ways of generating it, and it can be on the first date. It can be in the first text message. It can be actually on his Bumble profile. Yeah. It can be anywhere. Yeah. You know, and that's fine. Like I've seen on Bumble women who had both breasts removed, and they've got that on their profile, and I think that's courageous and beautiful. Yeah. And also that is just what some people want. You know what I mean? There are some people who that is the right person for, and that's the person they're after, you know? And by being really authentic and upfront, that gives people an opportunity. So that's what I would say. Always be upfront wherever possible, be authentic and genuine, and take responsibility if it's not working to improve how you're creating it with the other people.
Also, it's important to keep in mind that pretty much everyone has baggage,
right?
It's also a problem with social media is that we don't really ever show our baggage. We're only showing, and in our like online dating profiles or whatever, you're only showing like the best version of yourself. So don't think everyone's lives are perfect.
That's an idea for a dating app. Imagine a dating app where there's a field for my baggage is blah, 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 blah. How good would that be?
Yeah. No, I don't know. But it's a lot more honest and real and authentic. And I think that's also why people are so frustrated with the whole online dating world is because it's like there's so many
fake.
It's fake. People using like filters and anyway, there's
so
a whole nother like path we could go down, another video perhaps.
So the takeaways are, yes, declare your baggage, but declare it powerfully and not like it's you. Like own your baggage and talk about the future and what the future looks like with that baggage checked in.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
All right, time to board the plane. Such a bad joke.
But we're keeping it, staying in the video.
Right. Take care, guys. Hope this helps to clear up some confusions and maybe help you on your first date or in setting a first date. And I'll catch up with you guys soon. Cheers. Right. Thanks, Anton.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.